Hey everybody, Scott Jors here again, and this is another episode of the Wolf and the Neural Network. This episode here is going to cover the day that Kristen Holm, psychiatrist at Mount Hope Hospital, admitted me. And I had made a recording of that call, so what we're going to do is we're going to contrast that with her notes. And you're going to see that her notes do not match that recorded meeting at all. She states that I kept going back to Stephen Harper and Bell Media. There's nothing listed about that there's nothing said about that in the recording at all. So if she's writing things down that aren't being talked about, how can you trust any of her notes? You can't. Right? She's saying that I'm saying that my wallet led to A, B, C, D. This is absolutely fraudulent. I've never made that claim. And in fact, nothing about my wallet even shows up until about late September 2021. We still did a whole investigation at JDIrving in 2020. The core issue was that I filed a very serious complaint regarding my manager. And we did a serious investigation late 2019 or early 2020. Regarding this, and we did this with VPs, directors, former commander of the Criminal Investigation Unit and Superintendent, Jim Perrin of HRP. This involved the Defense Minister and was escalated to right to the top of JDIrving and to the top of the Federal and Provincial Government. It was a very serious incident where it involved these individuals mocking and laughing about harassment and systemic racism basically being some awesome narrative to get them. Which is extremely serious topics, right? Which Kristen Holm absolutely left out and she misrepresented because she knows how serious that is. She made all this information up about my wallet. She fixated on my wallet. And if she can't get past basic points and is fabricating a record to this degree, where you can hear it for yourself, there is nothing said about Stephen Harper or Bell Media, then how could she have a more complex discussion? She couldn't. And then when you go back and look at the notes, she's seen how bad the notes were from the emergency department because she clarified some of them, right? Just as she lied about how sick my physically and mentally disabled mother was, didn't write down that I had taken care of her, you will see a consistent pattern of pathological lying and intentional misrepresentation by Kristen Holm. All right, everybody, here's the recording.
Oh, sorry, I was checking.
That's okay. Didn't want to lose you.
Oh, I'm a little nervous.
Nothing to be nervous about. Our unit isn't meant to be a long-term unit. It's just to get people fixed up and sent back home again. So
I
you don't have to be
appreciate
nervous.
it.
You're right in here. Yeah. Do you mind if Megan sits in too?
No,
She's
you
your
can come in,
son.
Megan. That's okay. That's fine.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Come on in.
Hi.
Hi, Megan. I'm Dr. Holmes. This is Beth. Hi. Yeah. You haven't met before. He's okay.
I know we've seen each other at Scott.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice
you
to
saw
officially
each other?
meet you.
Nice
Yeah.
to meet you as well.
How are you, Scott?
I'll admit I'm a little bit nervous right now. Yeah, just a little.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna give you news that you wanna hear, okay? So I am gonna keep you in the hospital.
Okay.
I do think that you're unwell.
What do you mean, though?
I think that, I know that you've committed like tons of time and energy into this, system of ideas of things that fit together, right? And I think that you're seeing connections and things that aren't connected. Okay, so in that, from a psychiatry perspective, that is a symptom of psychosis. Okay, but the thing that I do want to tell you though, Scott, is it's treatable.
Okay, can I ask, did you contact the police about my wallet and the case?
I haven't contacted the police, no.
Okay, because I have all the letters and stuff. I have the letters from Employment Service Development Canada saying that the Defense Minister took action, and I can show you the letters where I contacted these people, and we went through a whole investigation at the shipyard with the directors.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome
HR.
to, if you have somebody who can bring in the information that you'd like to bring in, you're welcome to bring it in. And
What did the police say I did wrong, or did they say I did anything illegal?
You didn't do anything illegal. They were concerned for your mental health, which is why they brought you to the hospital.
And what was the exact issue with the mental health?
They were concerned that you were unwell.
But under what circumstance?
I think, from what I understand, so I haven't talked to the police, it's only what's documented in the emergency department, right?
Okay.
So when you went to the police department, they were concerned that you were unwell,
I
And
didn't.
so you didn't do anything wrong, but when
No,
police
I
are,
talked to them, and like I said, I was very respectful,
Yeah.
and she said she was gonna go get me some information. I was like, oh, that's great, thank you, and I talked really respectfully to the police. I wasn't inside, I was on private property, right? I didn't
Yeah,
do
but-
anything wrong.
no, but
I
when-
wasn't on private
yeah.
property, I was on public
Yeah,
property.
but Scott, when police are concerned that somebody might be unwell,
But
they
if-
do have the capacity under kind of it's called section 14, to be able to bring people to hospital for assessment, okay?
And I understand
So that was
yes.
that would have been why they brought you to hospital, not because they were concerned about you, okay?
But that's the part that I don't fully understand. I was calm, cool, and collected, and like I was completely
Right.
responsive. And the whole time I was in handcuffs for the 11 hours. I never
Yeah,
did
it
anything.
wasn't about your behavior, it was about what you were talking about.
That's right. But every date that I listed, I can prove was an event because we went through all of this, and that's why I understand that might seem like that, but like if like I'm a technical expert, right? And I consider myself an investigative journalist as well, right? So I went through and I did my job, and if I was a security researcher, you would say good job. If I was a detective, you would say good job. As an investigative journalist, I did a good job. And like what I would like to do is like sit down and have a conversation with somebody, you know, discuss the facts before we decide this is psychosis and you go and put pills in me, because I feel like that steals my individuality, you know, like I feel like it's a form of like cruel and unusual punishment, because like when you look at back what the police did, like it's very inappropriate that they brought me in under those circumstances.
Well, police, you know, honestly, they do that all the time, right? When they're concerned, it's out of a concern for people.
But they would say that, right, because they didn't look at any of the evidence. As a police officer, I said, okay, I can present you with the evidence. I can prove I did send it to HRP. I can prove I did call our CMP about this and have a discussion, right? We had discussions and our CMP said, like, now they have to explain these dates. And I told our CMP, like, look, I'm here if you would like to have a conversation. I'm here anytime. I provided my number. I provided contacts. Like, I'm not making like any of this up, and I think that it's really fair.
I certainly don't disagree. I think that you have done all of those things, right?
Right.
But I think what I'm saying,
which connection specifically do you think that I don't think is there?
Right. So the fact that all of the things that you have done have influenced greater things in Nova Scotia history, right?
Not in history at all. Just with McNeil.
Resigning.
Yeah. Did you see the letter that I sent the day before that? That for a day before he resigned, though?
I have not seen the letter, but you told me about that.
That's right. It was between Jim Perrin, who was the commander, and it was with Harjit Sajjan, who was the defense minister. Now, when I filed the complaint with the shipyard, I said, look, here's what I think should resolve this, you know, the privacy law for all employees, and I'll give the person right at the top 6 months to resign, and we'll keep this quiet, right? So after I sent the letter to the shipyard on the 5th, the next day, Stephen McNeil, you can Google it yourself, he resigned, and everybody was surprised, and he immediately came out and said about the black community because it was involving racism and those types of issues. And then you can check that on February 5th, he then left office, which was 6 months later, like I said, and then the day later, Kevin McCoy also left the office. And then I said, okay, I'm still working with Employment Service Development Canada, and then that ended in March 2021, and I contacted the Prime Minister after I just sent him an email. It was very friendly, and then I had waited, and then I contacted the larger group in September 2021. That's when I engaged our CMP. Now, the reason this has drug on this long is because the overall company, Post Media, I didn't piece it all together until JDIrving sold their media holdings, Brunswick News Inc., to Post Media for $16.1 million. And then I said, Post Media is obviously involved in this. So I went back. So that's how it seems to be taking so long. And this is all dates that you can verify. Like in 2019, the NDP criticized the relationship with Post Media because they're 66% foreign owned.
I'm going to stop you there because we're not going to agree on this, okay?
But you could Google these things, and I'm not making them up. I can prove the letters and everything to you.
Yeah, so you're welcome to get, like, if there's stuff that you want to bring in for me to look at, I'm happy to look at it. But today, I am going to keep you here as an involuntary patient, okay?
But why? I didn't do anything wrong.
Because
I have no history.
Because I am concerned for your health and your wellness, right? And I do think, Scott, that this has kind of taken over your life, and it's going to derail your life.
but I would have contacted the professional system, like I said, I would have spoken to a lawyer and just said, let them handle it from here, because I got my answer, and that's what I would have done. And like you said in my record, like, that I contacted the intake, that's because I contacted Dr. Bradley directly, and he said, look, you have to contact intake to come speak to me. And then I was like, well, given this amount of information, intake may take this incorrectly, just as this situation's going now. So I said, hey, that's maybe not the best situation, because Dr. Bradley also looks after my mother. So to come up with a plan for me, we would have had to talk to him anyway. So that's why I thought that was appropriate, right? So like, I really don't think that it's taken over my life in that way.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to consent to any type of drugs or anything like that, because I feel you're taking my individuality, something I've worked very hard in my life towards, right? And then looking at my mother and father, it's like, my father doesn't have a diagnosis, so to say it's in my family isn't really fair, and that removes my freedom of association, right? And my individuality, and then where's my freedom of expression and my right to live my life how I would? I haven't caused anybody any harm. I don't feel that overall loss to my life is negative, because I'm extremely educated, and I've taken all this time that I've been doing this to watch a lot of different science videos. I've read a whole thick book on Java alone. I've gone through so many technical documents on how to set up server, like everything. So like, this hasn't just taken over my life. I've literally transformed my entire property into a farm in this period. So, and COVID came up, like I said, in the same time this was happening. So I said, well, I have to look after my mother because she's scared of COVID. So you can see cause effect each step of the way. And then I did try to bring this out and resolve this. And I think you'll agree that when I make a request for my wallet, just recently, the Freedom of Information request, that the day I got it back, the new president resigns, and then they said my case is completely locked, nobody can access it. I don't even get access to that information, and the officers will tell you, like, look, that's not typical at all. We had that discussion, so I understand.
So I'm gonna end this here, because I don't think, we are not gonna come to an agreement on it, okay? I am gonna keep you here as an involuntary patient.
For how
I'm gonna
long?
prescribe you medication.
Please, I can't take medication. I can't
You can choose to
do
take
it.
And if you refuse to take it, they will give it to you by injection.
That's what you're going to seriously take my dignity like that. This is so indignant.
And then, if you want, your family's welcome to come visit you.
Please, this isn't right.
You are welcome.
This isn't right.
You can choose.
This isn't right. I've never been violent or anything in my life.
Yeah.
This is so wrong. I knew you were going to do that to me.
So Scott,
Why?
it comes from a place, I know it feels punitive, but it comes from a place of concern.
But are you concerned about what the police did and them doing
I'm
this?
concerned about your wellness.
What
concern.
about my wellness?
That I think you're unwell.
But on what grounds? What specifically? You said I'm making connections that aren't there, but I can prove every connection.
Yeah.
And I'm a technical expert.
Okay. I'm gonna stop us there, okay? Megan, is there anything else you're good? Beth, is there anything else? You're good. Okay. So Scott, I need to inform you of that, okay? You can contact patients' rights if you'd like, and you ask for a review board hearing. But otherwise, I am gonna continue to work with you, okay? Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it there for now.
What?
Okay.
Can I ask what medication you're gonna?
I'm gonna start you on risperidone.
Please don't give me an antipsychotic like that. Please. Is there anything else? Like, can we like? I don't want it. Like, my mother was on that, and I seen what it did to her, and she had really negative effects with that. Like, and it like.
So I'm gonna try. You do need an antipsychotic medication. Are you familiar with any other ones?
No, I'm not.
That you would be more comfortable with?
No, I'm not. It's just I don't.
So risperidone affects people differently, right? Your mom is older. It may have affected her differently. I chose it because it tends to have less side effects than other ones, okay? The other one that we often use at this stage would be something called olanzapine, but olanzapine can cause a lot of weight gain in people, which people don't like, which is why I chose risperidone.
So, like, if I refuse to take it, you're gonna hold me down and inject me with something. You think that I'm that big of a risk? That's accessible?
I do think that you need to that you can get better, yes.
But
okay.
okay, what if it comes out that this is all true, and then you actually went through these steps, and I said, like, I'll go talk to somebody and like just take some time with this, and I promise, like, do you know what I mean? What if it comes out that this is true?
I think that you do need medication, okay? I think you need medicine, okay?
We don't even know each other. We haven't talked about it. I mean, I understand, but I just don't know.
I know, I know that you're keeping it together and this is not what you wanted to hear, Scott. And I'll continue to work with you. If you have papers or documents or anything that you'd like me to look at, I'm happy to look at them, but I am gonna prescribe you medication starting tonight, okay?
Okay, I just like,
You
it does hurt me as a person, as a fellow human.
I know, and I respect you. I see that you are able to remain calm and that you're like a very kind, genuine guy. I do see that, okay? I just want you to live your best life, and I think that this is impairing your ability to live your best life.
And you don't think there are other ways of resolving that?
I don't think so. Psychosis we treat with medicine. Certainly going to see a counselor and all those sorts of things can help work through other things that are in your life, right? You talked about the struggles with your mom and caring for your mom. Certainly seeing a counselor could be helpful for that in that way. But with psychosis, it does need treatment with medication. It doesn't go away with talk therapy.
What could you give me a definition of psychosis? I won't argue with it. I just want to know what like the clinical.
I think that you're experiencing delusions, which are fixed false beliefs.
Specifically in relation to
McNeil and how things that you have done have influenced other things happening, those connections that you're making.
Which other connections?
So the connection in regards to the example that you just gave about your wallet leading to something else happening and leading to something else happening.
So, okay, so you don't think that was related?
I don't think that those really are connected.
With Jim
I
Perrin?
think that you have inferred a lot of things are happening. Because of other things. Right? I'm not dismissing that, Stephen McNeil resigned or that happened, but the connections that you have made between everything and your role in it, I think is delusional.
I worked at the
being
shipyard.
honest with you. I know that you worked at the shipyard.
And me and like the VPs went through an investigation. I've got the correspondence. I've got the letters from Employment Service Development Canada.
You bring me what you'd like to bring me, okay? Okay, but this is where things are gonna stand for today. Okay?
I mean, I don't really have a choice. You're gonna hold me down, right? Like.
So, Scott, if I want you to know that as an involuntary patient, if for some reason, like, you took off and didn't come back to the hospital.
I'm not going to do that.
I know you're not.
I'm not, because I'm like really scared about what's happening
Okay.
right now, and I don't want to like irritate it.
Okay. Would you like passes to go outside?
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy to give you passes to go outside just on the hospital grounds. Okay, I don't know, are you a smoker?
No.
Okay.
I don't do drugs. I don't do
anything.
anything.
So you can go for a walk, you can sit outside. If you have family who can come visit, you're welcome to have visits with your family outside. Okay? Okay. It's Friday. I will see you again on Monday.
And like, you're gonna make me take this until I say that didn't happen. Is that my understanding?
I'd like to see you be better, yes.
So then.
We're gonna continue to work together, okay? And we'll come up with a plan moving forward. This is where things stand for today, okay? I'm gonna step out for now, okay?
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott.
Hi, Megan.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
I really did. I know. I could say you can prove, but it's not your responsibility. I don't know why they don't want to see evidence of this. I was a systems analyst for Research and Motion, their top analyst. I worked for Dalhousie. I worked at the shipyard. I've got all the correspondence. I literally have the Excel file with all the dates. And it's like I said in everything you can see it, like I never said I was the protagonist. I never said it was centered around me. I said the opposite. I said like very clearly, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't think I'm the protagonist, but something very clearly did happen. And then you can see so can I show you something?
Sure.
Can I? It won't be long. I won't take much of your time. I just want to show you something, okay? So I was